A major tornado outbreak is shaping up in parts of the United States today, as the Storm Prediction Center has issued a moderate risk in western Indiana and central Illinois, where long-track large and violent tornadoes will be a possibility. Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Arthur will be making landfall in parts of southeastern Texas, bringing excessive rainfall. In today's video, we'll break down what you need to know about these severe weather potentials, so let's get right into it. Start off with our Day 1 Storm Prediction Center outlook for today. So there's a very large area to be watching out here in parts of the Midwest, as there's a marginal risk going from northern Oklahoma up into parts of southeastern Minnesota. Then there's a level 2 slight risk going from southeastern Kansas up into southeastern Minnesota. There's a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk from parts of northern Missouri up into northwestern Ohio. And then there's actually a level 4 out of 5 moderate risk in northwestern Indiana and over towards central Illinois. There's this other area to be watching down here towards the Gulf because of Tropical Storm Arthur, as Tropical Storm Arthur could bring a few tornadoes and some damaging winds down there. This is our tornado threat for today. So there's a 2% tornado risk going from southeastern Kansas up into southeastern Minnesota. Cannot rule out an isolated brief spin up within those areas. There is a 5% tornado risk going from parts of northern Missouri up into southeastern Iowa, where some tornadoes can't be ruled out. We cannot even rule out a strong tornado. And there's also a 10% tornado risk going from northeastern Missouri all the way down towards northwestern Ohio. Then there's a 15% tornado risk over here for northwestern Indiana down towards central Illinois. So if you see these more dashed lines right here, that means EF2 plus tornadoes will be a potential. If you see these more solid lines, that means EF3 plus tornadoes will be a potential. So we cannot route strong to violent tornadoes today, but mainly inside of those non-hatched areas, we're mainly looking at EF0 to EF1 intensity. Damaging winds will also be a pretty big concern today. In this brown, there's going to be a chance of some damaging winds, then in this yellow as well. Then there's a 30% wind risk going from northern Missouri up to northwestern Ohio. There's actually a 45% wind risk, which was upgraded out here in parts of central Illinois down to central Indiana. If you see those dashed lines here, that means 75 mile per hour plus winds can't be ruled out today, as those cluster of storms will move through the area. I want to even route winds up to 80 to potentially even 100 miles per hour today, so definitely make sure you're staying aware for that. We're also looking at a chance for some damaging winds down here towards the Gulf brought by Tropical Storm Arthur. Mainly, I would say like 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, I think, is going to be the main concern down there. We're also looking at a chance for large to very large hail, mainly within this 15% hail risk marked with a hail conditional intensity group 1 risk, where we cannot route hen egg size hail or more today. Definitely make sure to park your car in the garage so that doesn't get damaged by hail. This is the main area we are watching from parts of central Missouri up into parts of western Indiana. Make sure to strap down unsecured objects so they don't fly away for the damaging winds as well. Now, as we get into tomorrow on Thursday, the severe weather potential will continue across much of the East Coast down into parts of the Southern Plains, as the Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk actually from northern Tennessee up into parts of the Northeast, where we cannot rule out a few damaging winds as well as a few tornadoes. Main concern for tornadoes tomorrow will be brought by Tropical Storm Arthur out here in parts of the southeast. Want to roll out an upgrade to 5%, as we could be seeing multiple tornadoes tomorrow out there. Damaging winds is especially going to be a concern within this 15% wind risk tomorrow. Definitely strap down unsecured objects so they don't fly away. Hail tomorrow will also be a concern, but we're mainly looking at a chance for hail tomorrow out here in parts of northern Texas and southwestern Oklahoma, and like the Wichita Falls and Abilene, Texas areas, mainly what we're watching. Friday, we'll have another severe weather potential down here in the southeast. Want to roll out some damaging winds, and maybe even an isolated brief spin-up tornado. And it doesn't stop there. On Saturday, we have another severe weather threat out here in parts of the plains, as there's a 15% any severe risk probability from northeastern Colorado, parts of Nebraska down to northern Kansas. So we're definitely going to be watching Saturday very closely for some damaging winds, hail, and maybe even a couple of tornadoes. So let's go over our timing of severe weather today. So we're going to have a lot of these rain showers push through in the morning, as they could produce some damaging winds and maybe even a couple tornadoes, with intense tornadoes possible. With the morning convection, that will kind of push through the area. Morning convection can sometimes limit how crazy the severe weather is, but if we get enough of that clearing with that destabilization, then I do think that the severe weather threat could be pretty crazy today. See, the main storms will start developing around 4 p.m. Eastern out here. We should have enough instability and destabilization out here after the morning convection pushes through. So we're going to have to watch this development very closely, and they should quickly turn into a very dangerous supercells out there, producing damaging winds, hail, and potential strong to violent tornadoes out there. Then they'll kind of push through, and then as we get into the night, more further into the night, they should cluster more together can kind of be broken in the cluster of thunderstorms, producing mainly a damaging wind chance, but there will be some embedded supercells with a potential to produce a few tornadoes, maybe even a strong one, as they get down towards southern Indiana, southern Illinois, and parts of southern Missouri. Our environment out here is very favorable for these severe storms. As you can see, we have a lot of CAPE, which is convective available potential energy. It's basically storm fuel. You can see we got a decent amount of storm fuel out there today, getting up to around 2,000 joules per kilogram, 3,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram. So there's plenty of storm fuel out here today for our storms. So we're gonna have to keep a very close eye on this. Going over the storm relative helicity here, see there's a very decent amount of spin. That's going to be up here in parts of northern Illinois, as you can see, and parts of northern Indiana. So there's going to be a lot of twisting winds out there, which is going to be good for those tornadoes to form. So we're going to have a lot of spin in our atmosphere out there in parts of northern Illinois and northern Indiana. So definitely our environment is very primed for tornadoes out there. Now going over to significant tornado parameter values, you can see here we got a very decent amount of significant tornado parameter values out here today. So we're going to have to keep a very close eye on this. I think this is where our main tornado risk will be today. I am parts of central Illinois down to northeastern Missouri. I think it's going to be a little bit farther west than what the moderate risk is at. I think it's mainly going to be here in parts of central Illinois down to northeastern Missouri. I think that's where our main tornado risk is going to be today. As you can see, we got a decent amount of significant tornado parameter values, which kind of just combines all the ingredients that you need for like tornadoes and stuff. And then going down towards the Gulf regions, you can see Tropical Storm Arthur is going to be making landfall today in southeastern Texas. So that's going to lead to a lot of excessive rainfall. Life-threatening flash flooding is going to be a possibility out here. So definitely make sure you turn around, don't drown, encountering flooded roadways. It's also going to produce some gusty winds as it moves through the area. That's kind of just going to weaken out a little bit more as it moves farther into parts of Louisiana. There's a moderate risk of excessive rainfall out here for parts of southern Mississippi and southeastern Louisiana. So definitely make sure you're staying aware for some flooding today out there. Flooding is going to continue as we get into tomorrow in parts of southern Alabama, southern Mississippi, and southwestern Georgia, where we got moderate excessive rainfall down there tomorrow on Thursday. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on that as well. And then Friday, the excessive rainfall should continue in southern Alabama, so definitely be aware for the flooding as well. As we get into tomorrow on Thursday, you can see we're going to have a lot of scattered storms push through in parts of the United States caused by that same storm system that's going to be causing the severe weather in the Midwest today. Tomorrow we're going to have some severe weather out here in the Northeast. That could be a potential for some damaging winds, hail, wind, maybe a brief spin out there tomorrow in parts of the Northeast, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then Tropical Storm Arthur is also going to move through here, producing a chance for some damaging winds and maybe even multiple tornadoes. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. We're about a 5% tornado risk out there, as Tropical Storm Arthur could cause quite a few tornadoes out there. So we'll keep an eye on that, as well as a chance for some damaging winds. That's kind of what tomorrow could look like. We're also going to have a lot of rainfall continue out there in parts of the southern United States. And then those storms will kind of start to die out as we get into the early morning hours of Friday, which is when we're going to have a new severe weather threat develop out here in parts of the southeast. Another thing I want to mention is that tomorrow on Thursday, I want to even rule out a few strong tornadoes out here in parts of Alabama and Mississippi. There's actually a pretty decent amount of significant tornado parameter values, so we will have to keep an eye on that. This is what Saturday could look like here. So we're going to have some storms to start developing out here in parts of the plains. You can just kind of just give you a look. The GFS is not that detailed, but you can see we're going to have some storms develop, producing damaging winds, hail, and maybe even a chance for a few tornadoes. So we're going to have to be watching Saturday very closely. And I wouldn't even rule out more tornado outbreaks as we get into mid to late June. Around June 23rd, I'll be watching for potential severe weather outbreak out here in parts of the Midwest. And it does not look like severe weather is going to be taking a break. The main areas that we're watching for nice weather today will be placed over parts of Washington, western Washington, and parts of Oregon. It's going to be very nice weather out there today. We're also going to have some pretty nice weather out here in parts of western North Carolina and western Virginia. And that's pretty much all I got for you in today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to be staying weather aware. I can't be going live today because I have some stuff to do with my family. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.